What's up, boss family? It's your boy DJ the Boss coming back at y'all with another video. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We have all made it into 2021, thank God. And it is the first of the month, which means it's payday for your boy. So that's what we're gonna be talking about today is billing, how to get paid, how do you get your money, since that's what we all do this for. Ain't nobody trying to be out here cleaning for free or running no businesses where we don't make money. So how do you get paid? All of that and much more right after this.
Look, this for all my boss days. Go through your boss days. Loving how you boss, babe. This for all my dreamers and my doers and all the entrepreneurs. Just believe in what you're doing and pursue it. Look, this for all my boss days. Go through your boss days.
What's up, everybody? So first, before we get started, everybody go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for your boy. Subscribe to the channel so that you get notified every time I upload a video. It also helps support the channel and helps other business owners find the channel. More people we have in the community, the better for us all. So definitely hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel for your boy. But today we'll be talking about billing. So how do you bill your clients? How do you go about getting paid? And there's a number of ways you can go about setting it up. I'm gonna save some of the more important things for the end, just for the sake of organization, just because there's some upfront things you kind of got to know about billing before some of the more specialty things that I'm gonna bring up. So as far as billing, a few different ways you can go about billing. When you're first starting out, don't get caught up on trying to use systems like invoicing software and things like that. A lot of building operation managers and businesses are very old school. They're very willing to still use checks, more old school forms of payment, cash with receipts and checks and things like that. So if you're just starting out, just let that be the case and just, take checks until you have enough revenue to where you start looking into actual software and systems to help you actually send out invoices or, sales receipts and things like that. But getting into the whole sales receipts and invoicing, there's a few free softwares, I'm sure. I'm not sure if Square is still free. I know QuickBooks has a free version. There's a bunch of different invoicing softwares out there. You literally Google it and 50,000 will come up. They're all, for the most part, relatively the same. I have experience with Square and QuickBooks, as they're the only two that I've used. I've looked into other ones and shopping around, and they're all, for the most part, relatively the same. When it comes to invoicing, there's going to be a couple different terms that you're going to hear thrown around the industry. Net 30 being one of the big ones, arrears, advanced, net 15, all these different types of terms. I'm going to break down, I guess, kind of what those things mean, so you guys aren't confused when you hear them. Billing terms, and basically an agreement of how or when your customer or client is supposed to pay that invoice for whatever services that you provide. Starting with the most popular, net 30. In the traditional sense, what this means is, let's say it's January 1st. So you get the client, they're gonna make their payments on net 30 terms. So this means that you or your crew are going to, go and service this client from January 1st all the way to the end of January, the last day of January, to February 1st. On that last day of January, you're going to send them an invoice for all of the work that you completed in January. That invoice will have a due date, so they will have to pay for that invoice in 30 days. So 30 days from the end of January to get your payment. So what that means for you is, you'll be working for 60 days before you actually, in essence, receive that first month's payment. And so you'll always kind of be working, behind. It's not a bad setup. A lot of people still do it. It's very popular, extremely common, especially in B2B services. So it's a very common thing. So don't be scared when you hear those terms. Very much like net 30 terms or net 15 terms, which is basically the same thing. You perform the work from, for the sake of the example, January 1st to January 31st. At the end of the month, you send them an invoice, but this invoice is net 15, which means they have 15 days from the day that you send them that invoice to pay that amount. And so if you have some net 30 accounts and some net 15 accounts, it's a good way to kind of break it up and have some income come right in the middle of the month for you. So it's a good idea to mix both, have a little bit of both, or none at all if it suits you. But people also kind of confuse the terms and when they refer to net 30 and net 15, and you can bill that in advance or in arrears. So in the example that I just went over, that would be an example of billing in arrears. You're billing for things in arrear behind you, things that have already happened, service that was already provided. So that would be an example of billing in arrears. You can also bill in advance for services. So you can send your client an invoice on the 1st that is not due until the end of the month. So you can send them the invoice on January 1st, due on February 1st or the last day of January for the services completed in January. And so that would be an example of billing in advance for services on that net 30 agreement, those net 30 billing terms. Same for the net 15. So that would be the advanced version of net 15 if you send them the invoice, and they have till January 15th to pay that invoice in full for that whole month. So those are basically 4 different billing options. So I've seen in different companies, not only cleaning companies, but product manufacturing companies that I've worked in when I had a 9-to-5. You'll even see numbers associated with the billing terms. So you'll see like a 2%, 10, net 30, and so those are just discounts that a vendor can add to the billing terms to entice your clients to pay on these net 30 or net 15 invoices a little bit earlier. So 2%, 10, net 30 means that you'll be willing to give your client an additional 2% discount on the invoice if they pay it within 10 days of that 30-day invoice. So if they pay it within the first 10 days, you'll give them an extra 2%, or they can short the invoice an additional 2% just for paying it in a timely manner. So that's something that you can do. And that's also something that you can mess around with to make it more favorable to you, or whatever you think is going to entice clients to pay those arrears invoices a little bit sooner, or advanced invoices a little bit sooner if you want to offer a discount for that. With that said, and with customizing in mind, and now that I've touched on kind of making things your own, you can also, which is what I do, which I think is the best way to go about it, is to bill up front. So pay for services in advance. This is a much less common way to go about billing. I've gotten much more pushback from other people in the industry than I have from clients about billing in advance. I've had certain clients try to tell me that they've never heard of paying for services in advance, but it does happen. It is out there. There are several cleaning companies and other companies that bill for services in advance, and payment is due up front. My company is one of those companies. This can make it, I guess in theory, make it harder. I haven't necessarily experienced it being harder. I think the hardest part that I have to experience as far as sales is the same sales experiences that we all are struggling with, which is trying to just continue to get more customers, more leads coming in our doors, not necessarily the closing rate of those leads. So I found that the closing rate really hasn't changed, helped or hurt us because of the billing in advance. But with that said, I don't necessarily want to say that that's the best thing for you to do. I think it's the best situation overall. But like in every video that I say, it's best to mind your own business. So it means, do whatever is going to work best for you. If you can get in the door easier by offering net 30 payment terms for your clients, and you have no overhead for those 30 days, or you can perform the work for those first 30 days until you actually receive payment from those clients before putting employees in those accounts, then then do it that way. It's much more common. It's much easier to get into accounts that way with those type of billing terms. It's things that they're comfortable with. They know that they don't have the bill due immediately, so they're not thinking about it for a while. If you have the ability to do it that way, then go ahead. If it works for you, then yeah, by all means. But yeah, always do what is going to work, for you. If you try to bill in advance and you find that it's what's stopping you from getting accounts, then you may have to switch it up. Maybe it's not going to work in your area, or maybe it's you may have to take a different approach. But for me, it's just what I've found best, and really it came out of necessity because like I've said in plenty of videos, I was in a bad spot when I first started my company. I didn't have 30 days to wait for anybody to pay me. I didn't want to, wait, or do work for 30 days and then wait another 30 days for, clients to pay me. And it, as a business principle, it didn't really sit well with me. I figured it was kind of counterproductive. If best case scenario, if you were to get a call from a huge client, you would have to hire that work out for the first 30 days because there'd be no way you can complete the work yourself, and you have also no way to cover that payroll for the first month or month and a half, 2 months before you receive payment from that client for that work. So for me, it was a non-starter. It just would not have worked for my business model. Which if I want to be able to grow quickly, I need to be able to have capital to do that, and not starting from a place where I had a bunch of capital to start with or a bunch of credit to be able to apply for loans and things like that to start with. It required me to have to take those payments up front. So don't try to let anybody tell you that whatever you decide isn't going to work. Test it for yourself. You have to try. Just because something worked for somebody else doesn't mean it's going to work for you, or it's not going to work for you. You have to try to do what's best for you, and you have to try it for yourself. So people may say, whatever way is the best, or nobody's going to sign up with you if you do it this way, or you're gonna look unprofessional, or if you do it a certain way. None of that is true. It's all subjective to the customer's opinion is the only opinion that matters. The person who's going to be signing the check is the only person's opinion that matters in this particular case. And if you decide on a particular model, then stick with it. Stick to your guns within negotiations with your client. Don't let them saying no scare you off, because maybe that's not a client that fits your business model. Maybe you don't want that client. If it's something that an amount of money that you really don't want to turn your head, you turn away from, just make sure it's not, a client that you really don't need to have in your business, or someone who's not going to be, helpful. They should, a new client should bring you more happiness, not more stress. So. But that's it, man. I hope I kept this video as short as I wanted to when I first started out. I doubt it, but that is it. Love you guys. Thanks for getting those subscribers up. Remember to like this video, hit the subscribe button so you guys get notified next time I post one. But that's it, man. Love y'all. Keep that boss mentality. Peace.